Hey, well, it's Tuesday, September 8th, 2009. Haven't been able to do my videos during the day anymore, and the room I'm in really doesn't have that great a light. I'm going to have to get like a spotlight or something so you can see me, because, man, the vids are coming out darker. It's like I'm in a different world almost. Anyway, the question of the week, there was a guy that came across, there was a guy was a guy was a guy was a and everything like that, and there was a guy that came across, and if I get his name, or if I can remember his name before it's all said and done, I will be sure to say his name, because he came across, he said a great thing. He brought up who's the greatest fighter of all time, and I was like, well, anyway, before I get into that, question of the week, what was it, 12? Was it 12? 13? I think it was 13. Lucky 13. Was the greatest, what country has the greatest history for boxing? And it was, two countries ran pretty close in this, and it was pretty much a blowout. Them two were way ahead of the next guy in third. Coming in first was the United States. There's no shock there. If you read through, comments like TH, TH basically says, United States is the mecca of boxing. When you have Dragon Style and Nutter Free and Cincinnati Mike talking about pound for pound, all-time weight classes, it's the United States, from the bottom to the top. We're not limited in our area of dominance or something like that, or what we have dominated. In that there were 22 votes for the United States. There were 17 for Great Britain, the UK, Britain. Maybe I'll slice all those in thirds there, however you want to call your country. I don't know. That's on you guys. There was 10 for Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico! They're like, hey, look, we're really small, and we produce a lot of fighters and stuff. Yeah, that's all you got there. Really, I mean, when you start talking histories and things like that, then you're really starting to get into, the United States, for all the great fighters it's had and everything. We got professional football, professional baseball, professional basketball. We even the hockey. I don't want to call it. We do have professional soccer here. There are so many different things that our youth can go to, and we still fairly consistently put out good to great fighters. We don't have like one thing. Like Mexico is soccer and boxing. That's it. What other thing is in Mexico? Or Puerto Rico. This is about maybe some baseball. Got some baseball going on there. Baseball been very, very good to me. So you have baseball, and you have some soccer action, and then you have boxing. Someone brought up Cuba. Well, and they talked about their amateurs, and that's laughable. That's like saying, the USSR used to have great amateurs. That's because they don't allow their fighters to ever leave the country. So you got a guy that's 38 years old fighting amateur. That's pathetic. Sorry, I'm getting carried away there. But it's pathetic to have a 38-year-old amateur fighter going in there and fighting in the Olympics. And it's a joke. You shouldn't. In the United States, you can only really be competitive in amateur boxing until you're 35. After that, you go into the old man's division, which is what I would be in, and you fight like 40-year-olds, and it's under different rules. It's weird. So, and then you had Mexico, and I wanted an answer. I didn't want to say, oh, there's a tie between this country and this country, because there are no ties here. We're not playing for a tie. We're playing for a win. So Mexico and Puerto Rico, you guys had a couple guys that, rode the fence, And we don't ride fences here. It's one or the other. We don't call draws. You know, if you wanted to say that, I would still have to pull for Mexico on that. And I love the countries. I have nothing against them. But this is just strictly a from history and stuff like that standpoint. So, with that, you had the U.S. and like I said, Sin Mike, Utter Free, Dragon Style, Red Pandemic, Hootathan, Dire Legend, DJ Mosa, B-Hops, The X-Man, Sight Upon Light, Campeon Unificado, TH, Secret 25, Bedorovic, John J 134, Paul 8770, 7 Sabretooth 7, Alfredo Vega, Flowy Skills, 8824 Snipe, Lion 575, Progressive Script, Red Meat Heart, that's a scary name. Anyway, and everybody put it, and I mean, which is going to lead into this next question is, if a country has the greatest fighter of all time, ever, how is that not the greatest? You know what I mean? I mean, when you think of the greatest fighter of all time, who comes into your mind? Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson. You start thinking greatest fighters of all time, and you don't think of, a British fighter. You don't think of a Puerto Rican fighter. You don't think of, Filipino fighter. You don't think of that. You think Muhammad Ali. You think Sugar Ray Robinson. So with that being said, I want to go into the who is the greatest fighter of all time? The GFOAT, not the GOAT. The GFOAT, greatest fighter of all time, right? You with me? But before you say who you think the greatest fighter of all time is, we need to vote on qualifications of the fighter. Is it longevity? How long they were great? Like Joe Louis held the title longer than anybody. Is it wins? Is it not so much what you did in the ring, what you did outside the ring? I mean, that's got to count for something. I mean, you can be a great fighter, but if you're a douchebag outside of the ring, I don't want nothing to do with you. I mean, like Rocky Graziano, he's one of my, he's a paisan, but he was kind of a douche outside the ring, kind of. I mean, you got guys doing some scandalous stuff. No, absolutely not. That's not a, Don King's done great things for boxing. He's killed boxing all in the same token. He's put some great shows up. He's robbed boxers blind. So when you think of stuff like that, I wouldn't put him in the greats because there's too much bad to go with the good. So, is Muhammad Ali the number one now? I mean, he was hated there for a long time, cheating on his wife and all that other stuff, but now he's like a symbol of hope or something, because he got some name damage, So so what is it? Is the humanitarian efforts, what they do in the ring, longevity, how long they held the title? Is it wins? What are the qualifications that makes a fighter the greatest? What are those qualifications? Let's get those out of the way, and then we can go, based on these qualifications, who's the greatest fighter of all time? I mean, if somebody's born with blessed, unbelievable athletic ability, you should be great. Is it, or maybe we're overlooking people that went up and above their natural abilities and overcame so much stuff. Like Bernard Hopkins. I mean, dude was in jail, man, He comes out after being in jail and does everything that he did. Does that make him like the greatest fighter? I mean, think about it. But then again, does the fact that he was in jail kind of take away from, being great? It's kind of hard. So let's get those down. Because everybody's like, well, you didn't qualify it. If you went by history, if you went by champions, if you went by size, if you went by this, everybody, if. I didn't ask if. I said, who was? Okay, but this one I'm saying, let's get the qualifications down, okay? All right? All right, well, hey, this is Bigragu. Thank you for following still, try and keep these every week. Anyway, It's Bigragu. I'm out.